Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? I'm back with some new comic reviews, and of course, as usual lately, they're late. So, this is last week's stack of books I got from my comic store. And before I start going, I'm going to mention that my comic Red Knight is available in print and digital over at manospublishing.com. You can support me, an indie comic creator, right now. If you want to have a superhero book that's, kind of fresh and original, and you don't have to worry about continuity from the big two and stuff like that. Hey, all right, speaking of one of the big two, let's get going with some comic book reviews. And this past week, I picked up Miss Marvel Moon Knight, let's see, which, X-Men 13, Captain Marvel 40, and Daredevil number 2, or 650. And I'll get into that bitch in just a moment. But first, I'm going to get into Miss Marvel and Moon Knight, and I need to clarify something first. Now, she's in a series of what appears to be one-shot team-up issues. The first one being Miss Marvel Wolverine. This is the second, and then the third one is, I think, coming out soon. It's Miss Marvel Venom. And I should clarify something. These aren't just like individual one-shots. This is a continuing story. We picked up with this one where a mystery starts to unfold about these robotic insects that are attacking, and she and the X-Men kind of like defend the X-Men base in New York from it, and it leaves with this ongoing question as where they came from, and Miss Marvel gets kind of a clue, and she kind of decides to take that from there, and the X-Men kind of go about their way. Then we pick up in here. So this is a story arc, and I don't know why it's framed like this, because let's say you don't feel like reading this one, and you just feel like, oh man, I like Moon Knight, let me just get this one. You're going to be a little lost as far as like the Venom one is concerned too. Now they're doing this with Moon Girl as well, and I'm not sure if I agree with this type of framing. So if you're interested in this, pick up this first, by the way. It's a story. Same thing with the Moon Girl miniseries, by the way. And this is a miniseries, I should say. This is written by Jody Houser. And let's see, Ibram Robertson. And first off, Robertson's art is really gorgeous. Wow. This is like wonderful. This, first off, Moon Knight looks amazing, and the whole setting is like geared towards Moon Knight and his aesthetic. But that's not to say that Miss Marvel doesn't look great. I mean, she looks awesome in this. Matter of fact, there's a lot of like big fist, big feet attacks that she's like doing, and stretchy powers, and like she's being really stretchy in this issue, which is great. And let's see, we also get to see Hunter's Moon in this as well. Essentially, this furthers the mystery as to what's going on with these robotic insects and robotic rats and stuff like that, and who is like launching them in these attacks. See, it's kind of funny because this is Kamala and Moon Knight interacting for the first time that I'm aware of, and she's pretty intimidated, and she's like met some scary guys during her short tenure as a superhero, like Wolverine, for instance. But she gets along with Wolverine really well. This guy, however, she's told to like kind of stay away from him. She's a little wary of him, but they actually very soon click. The main action piece for this is them defending this apartment building, because everyone gets locked in their apartment, and they have to like free them as well as fight these things, which eventually unite into one giant robot. It's really wonderful. Really good art here. I don't think I've seen this artist before. I really like this artist a lot. I'm going to give this 5 out of 5 Bram Chips, and yes, it does continue the mystery, so you got to pick up Ms. Marvel Venom, which I think is coming up, I don't know when, like, I guess next month. But don't be confused by this. I know Marvel really loves its number ones, but this is a bad idea. This should be 2 out of miniseries. But I guess I don't know, I guess they don't have a title for it. And maybe they just could have called it Marvel Team Up. She did have a Marvel Team Up miniseries, so maybe they could have just done it this way. Anyway, that's enough of complaining about that. I'll be complaining more about their numbering later. Alright, now we go back to X-Men number 13. And this is by, of course, Jerry Duggan. And let's see, who's doing the art on this? Villa? I really should look at the credits before I actually start the reviews. That's probably something I should do at some point in my career. Oh man. Let's see, that's another thing about X-Men books, is like, where the hell are the credits pages? Like, they're always like somewhere. Like, okay, here we go. Like, look at this. Like, halfway through the book. So, let's see, it's a C.F. Villa. And once again, another artist I'm not familiar with, but really digging the art. Let's see, essentially this is a tie-in to the big Judgment Day event book, which I need to talk about issue 2 soon, so I'll do that soon. And it's basically covering the attack on Krakoa after the split, where the Avengers go take care of like a separate problem that's going to be endangering millions of people elsewhere, and they're taking care of like the remaining monsters. And by the way, this is great seeing like Iceman and Firestar fight side by side. Being an old kid from like the 80s, it's great to see like 2 of the amazing friends fighting side by side. I don't know why Marvel has never pulled the trigger on having like a story arc with the 3 of them together. But anyway, it ends with the ending of issue 2, where the giant god that the Avengers and the good Eternals built to take care of the problem and becomes a new problem. So this is pretty good. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Ram chips. If you're not reading the X-Men book and you're reading Judgment Day, this isn't amazingly necessary, but it does, I guess, add context. And if you're reading the X-Men book anyway, this isn't bad. Jerry Duggan does this thing where I've been comparing him a lot to Grant Morrison's run on Justice League, where he has this kind of fast-paced action and he really utilizes all the characters in a unique way and kind of figures out how to make them really gel. And that's the vibe I get off his run so far of the X-Men. And doesn't stop here. 4 out of 5. So, this cover of Captain Marvel 40 is a lie. Binary doesn't even show up at all in this issue. It is all remaining part of Trials, which, see, the Enchantress is really pissed at Carol for attempting to use her own magic. She tried to train to use magic from the Enchantress so she could take out her son, and she was kind of offended by that. So, she starts this kind of like tribunal, and she is tested. She's put in this kind of like reality loop over and over again, where she has to learn how to defeat a problem without killing it. And she can do that, but it's such a problem that, her instincts are to kill it, and she's gone back and back and back and to it, and she's kind of in this fantasy kingdom thing where she's this adventurer, but she eventually does kind of figure it out, and we get this nice kind of flashback too of her and Wanda in the older Avenger days, chatting and kind of seeing their connection. And to get out of, like, it looks like she was winning, it looks like she finally won and figured it out, but the Enchantress challenged it and actually increased the situation to the point where, to win, she burns her own arms off, kind of Wolverine style. It's horrifying. And let's see. And of course, it's kind of a magic reality, so she doesn't really do it to herself, but it sure does feel like it, which is enough. she's released because the tribunal was like going, okay, look, we've been doing this and doing this. It's boring. She's fine. And Enchantress is not going to let it go because she never wanted to, kind of consider, the justice of the whole thing. She just wanted revenge, and that's what's kind of like pointed out. So Carol's freed. She is kind of heading back to Earth, and Enchantress goes to Kit. Remember her? She was the girl from the Kelly Sue DeConnick run that was part of that, and she is like, kind of, sort of like an unofficial like daughter. She's like the daughter of one of her friends, and was kind of there. She's not really in the MCU, but Monica kind of fills her role in that way, if that makes any sense. So there's this kind of horrifying moment where Enchantress like knocks on her window and goes, "Hey, Captain Marvel needs you. She sent me to go get you." I mean, that's alarming. And since Captain Marvel tried to take out her son, I hesitate to wonder what she's planning for Kit. So really good. This is the Kelly Thompson run, of course, and very, very good. So that leaves us with Daredevil 650 or issue 2. God, this bugs me. Like, Marvel, do you want to celebrate your anniversary issues and milestone issues or not? That's all there is. This is the funny thing, is they renumbered this Daredevil series with the same team. Now, like, for a while when they were renumbering books, it was because, like, they got a new writer, they got a new artist, they want to celebrate that, they're doing a whole new bold direction. It's the same team. I mean, we're going to a new story arc, but it's the same book. And then, then turn around, like, with issue 2 going, oh no, hey, it's 650. Well, anyway, it's Chip Zdarsky, Marco Checchetto, and a whole slew of, like, guest artists popping in, because this is a bit of a celebration of Daredevil's 650 issues. And we get to the character Goldie, who was a guy he knew back in college, and Goldie appears to him just after Kristen McDuffie's train seemingly explodes, maybe killing her, and he starts to inform him that, like, he's been not just some guy he knew, but he is this guardian angel of sorts that's been challenging him and making his life absolute shit. And by the way, look at this, like, amazing sequence of this train derailment. Holy crap. It goes on for a few pages, and you can kind of just hear it and smell it, the way Checchetto does the art. And then we flash back to various pieces of Matt Murdock's history as, Goldie's fighting with him and talking to him, telling him what he's done to his life. We get, like, John Romita Jr. here. Let's see. And a few other, Klaus Johnson appears. Good lord. It's a really cool, like, quick flashback using some of the classic artists on Daredevil. Matt defeats him, and also Kristen doesn't get killed. She did not take the trade, so she missed it, and they actually kiss. Now, I'm very curious as to where we're going with this, because, like, he has this thing with Elektra that they're doing, as well as, the mission with the hand and what Goldie's doing, if he really is or not a guardian angel of sorts to Daredevil, or is he just a crazy guy with powers? So we'll see. Very interested to see where this heads. But I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Ram chips. Art's really gorgeous, though, so definitely worth picking up for that. And I don't know if this makes any sense context-wise. If you haven't been reading the series, I suppose if you are familiar with Daredevil, haven't checked out the book for a while, maybe this wouldn't be a bad thing to pick up. It's nice to do these, like, milestone issues when Marvel remembers they have them. So hey, that's what I think so far, and that's what I think of last week's comics. Tune in a few days from now, where I'll be probably talking about this week's comics. I'll do my best to kind of keep up. It's just I've been so busy. it's been kind of hard to do this YouTube channel as well as the various things in my life. So I'm kind of been back up recently, and I'm kind of doing my best. I've been kind of focusing mainly on comics, but I would like to talk more about some of the other things I used to. So for longtime viewers, I'm sorry about that. So hey, what did you think of these comics? Let me know in a comment below. All that stuff helps me. If you click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and yeah, see if you've read any of these. If you think doing a mini-series, team-up series, and just calling them all #1s is a good or bad idea. I think that's a terrible idea. I don't know why they're doing that way. But hey, let me know in the comments below. So I'll talk to you later. Push the button, Lindsay.